Good evening. This is Pub Politics. Rick Garney here, along with Wes Donahue, back after a week in on the left coast.
Yes.
A Republican in San Francisco. And interesting. How'd that go for you?
All right. Well, technology, man, it's where it's booming.
And Antoine Seawright, his first appearance on Pub Politics, filling in for, we understand, an under the weather Phil Bailey. So we hope Phil gets better soon. But Antoine, glad you're here. Thanks for coming by.
Always an honor to be on the show with my friend Wes Donahue.
This should be exciting. I want to talk first about the controversy that is voter ID. Not necessarily voter ID itself, because we've talked about that, I think, ad nauseum on this show, and I'm sure Wes on the web show as well. But it took another interesting turn here in the last couple of weeks. It actually started 3 weeks ago when Kevin Schweda, who is the state director of the DMV, telling a House panel he found more than 37,000 names on the voter list that appeared to be dead South Carolinians. And then he says almost 1,000 of them cast ballots after the date of the death. So this, of course, fired up Republicans.
Yep.
They said, all right, this is why we need voter ID, because we need to prevent this type of voter fraud. Last week, Marcy Andino, who's with the State Election Commission, came out before the same House panel and basically said, you know, Mr. Schweda, you're wrong. In many cases, these people are actually alive, and I think she listed at least 6 that she found who were actually alive, and there were some clerical errors, and that's why this whole thing got messed up. I guess that's what she says. Now, so here we go. We have 2 state agencies.
Right.
One says these people are dead. One says these people aren't dead. They're alive. The question is not whether you guys are for or against voter ID, because we know which side you guys are on, and we've talked about that before. But these kind of discrepancies, how can they happen? Is it political? Is it just lack of communication? I mean, voters look at this and they can't be too confident right now in the integrity of our process, Wes.
Well, it's important for you.
Go ahead.
I think Wes would like me to handle this. It's important for you to note a couple things. One, this is Governor Nikki Haley's GOP appointed director, and this list he held on to for several months. And I think the Democrats were just privy to this list a few days ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of these cases where the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. I think it shows some inefficiencies in the state government. Some things need to be fixed. I don't want to blame the directors, but I do think this shows that there's some real discrepancies here. But I would actually say this makes the case for voter ID. Who's voting in South Carolina's elections? Who are you? When you look back at Iowa and you saw Santorum ended up pulling it out by about 12 votes. I mean, elections can be close, and we need to know exactly who is voting in these elections.
This is a prime example of one of those good GOP PR stunts to bring attention to an issue that practically just don't exist. West says that, but however, now they're going to spend, or the governor's proposing spending $1 million in a lawsuit. That's $1 million taxpayers' dollars in a downward economy and all that on a lawsuit for a matter or issue that really don't exist. So I just think that's another one of those GOP issues that makes a good public relations stunt.
Well, we wouldn't need that lawsuit if the federal government and Barack Obama would just let the state do what the state needs to do. But
so he's more concerned about federal issues, and we're talking about issues that really focus on South Carolina.
The bottom line is it always comes back to voter ID, and for some reason I think we'll be talking about this for many more months. Let's talk one more thing, which I think we can all agree is good for South Carolina. That's the unemployment rate going down in the state, 4th straight month. It's now at 9.5%, still higher than the national average, but it's the lowest it's been in South Carolina in 3 years. Let's first start with the politics of this. Governor Haley, does she deserve credit, yes or no? Antoine, go ahead.
Partial credit. However, it's important to know that Barack Obama, this president of the United States, the economy is turning as a whole nationwide, and so I think South Carolina is feeling the effects of that in a positive way. And the second thing is, you know, as we all know, as being political, is that a lot of the announcements she's made, I am willing to bet there's a lot of bleed over from the Sanford administration.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think some of this is bleed over, but there's no doubt that Republicans and Democrats are both saying the same thing, and that she is working her butt off to bring in some jobs into this state. I also want to give credit to the General Assembly, though. I think if you look at our tax structure, South Carolina has one of the lowest tax bases in the entire country, and that's because of the House, the Senate, Republicans and Democrats on both sides keeping taxes low in the state. And as long as we keep taxes low, I think we're going to continue having jobs come in here.
All right, big Pub Politics show. I understand the pub version this week, Wes?
Yeah, 6 o'clock tomorrow night at the WIG. Senator Jakey Knotts will be making his second appearance, so we're pretty excited about that.
We remember what happened on his first appearance, so that should be exciting. PubPoliticsLive.com is the website. It's once again tomorrow night, which is Wednesday, 6 o'clock at the WIG if you want to see it live, or the website. Wes, thanks again. Antoine, appreciate you coming by.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Good having you.
My friend Wes.
All right.
That's a good time. Phil, get well soon. We wish the best for you. We'll see you guys next week. Right now, back to you.